The jungle was silent, but it was not safe. Jace moved slowly between thick red trees, his boots sinking into the mossy ground. His breathing was calm, but his eyes kept searching. He was a scout, trained for alien environments. But this planet Vecra 7 felt different. The trees seemed to watch him. The air was thick, not just with heat, but with tension. Suddenly, a low growl stopped him in his tracks. Jace turned, and then he saw her. Standing behind a large tree trunk was a creature unlike any he had seen. She was tall, almost his height, with strong arms, long legs, and fur covering parts of her body like armor. Her eyes glowed a soft gold in the jungle's dim light. Her face was humanoid, but wild like a lioness ready to attack. Her claws flexed. Jace didn't reach for his weapon. He didn't move at all. The beast woman stepped forward, slowly, one foot pressing into the soft soil. Her ears twitched, listening. Her sharp teeth showed as she growled again, louder this time. It wasn't a warning, it was a threat. Still, Jace didn't run. Easy, he whispered, raising his hand slightly. I'm not here to fight. She blinked, confused for a second. Then she lifted one paw-like hand but winced. Her leg shook slightly. Jace's trained eyes noticed it right away. She was hurt, and then he saw it, a metal thorn, long and jagged, sticking out from behind her ankle. It looked deep, and it was bleeding. So she was not just dangerous, she was in pain. He took a small step forward. She roared. The sound echoed through the jungle like thunder. Birds flew from the trees. Jace stopped instantly. His heart raced, but he didn't show fear. I see it, he said softly. Your leg. You're injured. She bared her teeth. Her claws dug into the dirt. Her breathing was fast. She was ready to attack, but Jace didn't reach for his knife. Instead, he knelt down slowly and pointed toward the thorn. That thing. It's killing you. Let me help. The beast woman narrowed her eyes. No one had ever offered her help before, not in her world, not from a human. Her kind only knew war, hunting, and pride. They survived alone. Still, her leg gave out slightly, and she stumbled for just a second. Jace stood still as a statue. She growled again, but it was softer now. Her body shook from exhaustion. Her pride fought her pain, but the thorn had been there too long. Minutes passed. A silent test between two beings. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was rough and deep, like rocks grinding together. Keep staring, and I'll pounce. Jace smiled just a little, then pounce. But after I pull the thorn. She didn't answer, but she didn't attack either. Jace slowly reached into his pouch and took out a med glove. His movements were gentle, slow-like. He was trying to comfort a scared animal. The beast woman didn't stop him. As he approached, he saw her muscles tense. Her claws were still out. One wrong move, and he'd be dead. He knelt beside her injured leg. The thorn was worse up close. Metal from a trap, maybe, deeply buried. The skin around it was dark and swollen. Pus leaked from the edges. This will hurt, Jace whispered. She didn't flinch. With one quick pull, he removed the thorn. The beast woman screamed, a sound both pain and power, but she didn't attack. She fell forward, bracing herself with her hands. Blood dripped onto the jungle floor. Her breathing was heavy. Jace worked quickly, cleaning the wound, applying sealant gel. She watched him, eyes burning. When he was done, he backed away slowly. She looked at her leg, then at him. No words, just silence. And then she vanished, leaping into the jungle with a single powerful jump. Jace was left alone again, but he smiled, because in her eyes, just before she disappeared, he had seen something strange. Not hate, not rage. Trust. Asterisk. The jungle felt colder that night. Jace had set up a small camp near the edge of the river. His fire was small, just enough to keep away bugs and maybe offer a little warmth. But his eyes kept watching the trees. She had disappeared hours ago. No sign, no sound, but he felt her out there. The beast woman, not the one whose life he might have just saved, the one who nearly killed him. He leaned back against a log, tired but alert. The fire crackled. Shadows danced on the leaves. Suddenly, the hair on his neck stood up. He wasn't alone. A low rustle behind him. Jace didn't move. He didn't turn. He just said, "You came back." No answer. Then a low voice, sharp-like. "A blade. Why did you help me?" Jace turned slowly, and there she stood in the dark, just outside the firelight. Her leg was wrapped in leaves and some kind of alien cloth. She had tended it herself after his work. She looked stronger. But her eyes were different, now less wild, more curious. "I helped because you were hurt," Jace said calmly. "That's what humans do." She stepped closer, her muscles tense, her claws still out. "You touched me," she said coldly. "No one touches me. Ever." Jace didn't flinch. "I asked." "You didn't stop me." Her eyes narrowed. "I could rip you in half." "Then why haven't you?" He replied, silenced. Her claws twitched, but didn't strike. "I should," she muttered. "You make me feel weak." "No," Jace said. "You. Let yourself be strong in a different way." She bared her teeth. "Stop using pretty words." "I don't need them." Jace stood slowly, hands raised, not in fear, but in respect. "You don't have to trust me," he said, "but I'll stay close, in case it gets worse." She turned her face away for a second. Then a quiet growl. "Stay, but touch me again, and I will break you." He gave a slight smile. "Deal." That night, they didn't speak again. She sat across from the fire, her sharp eyes watching everything. Her ears twitched at every sound. Her breathing was deep but calm. Jace noticed the way she moved, limping slightly, still in pain, but proud enough to pretend otherwise. She reminded him of something he'd seen back home. A wounded wolf refusing to lie down. Hours passed. Just before dawn, Jace opened one eye. He had fallen into a light sleep. The beast woman was gone. But beside his fire, on a smooth stone, was a strange flower. Its petals glowed faintly. He had never seen it before. A gift? A warning? He didn't know. But something had changed. That morning, Jace checked his comlink. Still no signal. Still no help. He was stuck on this planet for now. But now, he wasn't alone. As he moved through the jungle again, mapping the area, he heard her following him. Never close, never visible. But she was there. He began speaking, softly as he walked, not to scare her, just so she knew what he was doing. "I'm not leaving yet," he said aloud. "My team will come, eventually. I need to stay alive until then." A rustle. "Thanks for not killing me last night." Another rustle. He smiled. "I'm guessing you're still mad." "That's fine. I would be too." A pause, and her voice echoed through the trees, deep and slow. "You talk too much." He laughed. "I get that a lot." Later that afternoon, he stopped by a strange tree with glowing blue fruit. He reached out carefully, but a rock flew past and hit the tree trunk. He looked up. She stood on a branch high above, arms crossed. "That fruit poisons your kind," she growled. Jace stepped back. Noted. Then he asked, "What's your name?" She didn't answer. "I'm Jace." Still no reply. "I'll just keep calling you Claws then," he joked. She growled, annoyed. "You're lucky I'm bored." Jace smiled. "No, I'm lucky you're curious." She leapt from the tree and vanished again. But now, she was following him on purpose. Asterisk. The jungle was quiet, but Chase felt her near. Every time he turned, he saw movement in the trees. A shadow, a glint of gold eyes. She was watching him, always close, always hidden. But she wasn't stalking him like prey anymore. She was protecting him, and that, to Jace, was more terrifying than her claws. Late in the day, rain began to fall. The jungle floor turned soft. The trees hissed as water ran down their bark. Jace found a small cave for shelter. It was dry inside, with just enough space for two. He made a tiny fire, ate part of his ration bar. That's when he heard the soft footsteps. Not sneaky this time, just calm. She stepped into the cave slowly, dripping wet, but tall and strong. Her leg was healing. The swelling was down. The pain in her eyes was less now, but the suspicion remained. She didn't ask. She just sat across the fire from him, silent. Jace nodded once. "Welcome back." She said nothing. For a while, only. The fire crackled between them. Then she spoke in her low, gravelly voice. "What do you want from me, human?" He looked at her, confused. "Want from you?" She leaned forward. "You pulled the thorn, cleaned the wound, offered food. Why? We are not all eyes." "I didn't do it to get something," Jace said softly. "I saw pain. I helped." "No. One helps without a reason. Maybe humans are different." She growled, but it was softer this time. "Your kind hunts, conquers, just like mine." Jace stared into the fire. "Not all of us." She lowered her eyes. The cave was quiet again. Then, slowly, she unwrapped her leg. The skin was pink, healing. But the scar was long, fresh. She looked at it, then at him. "Will it leave a mark?" She asked. Jace nodded. "Yes, but scars are not weakness. They're memory." She tilted her head. "In my tribe, scars mean failure. In mine, they mean survival." She blinked at that dot, then looked at her leg again, like she was seeing it for the first time. Later that night, she asked a question he didn't expect. "What is your name again?" He smiled. "Jace." She pointed to her chest. "Ravari." He raised an eyebrow. "Ravari. That's a strong name." She gave a half smile. "It means wild one in my language." He chuckled. "Fitting." She gave him a look. "Careful, Jace. I still have claws." He held up his hands. Noted. They slept near the fire that night. Not touching. Not speaking. But for the first time, not afraid of each other. The next morning, Jace awoke to find Ravari standing guard at the cave's mouth. She was tense, her ears twitching, her body alert. He stood slowly. "What is it?" She didn't answer. Right away. Then she pointed to a distant ridge. "Tracks," she said. "Hunters, not mine." Jace frowned. "Hunters?" She nodded. "Tribes from the north. They follow only one rule: kill first." He looked in the same direction. "Are they after you?" Her voice was hard. "Now they will be. I smell like your scent. That makes me weak in their eyes." Jace stepped beside her. "Then let's not let them catch us." She turned her eyes to him soft now. "Thinking, you would run beside me?" He smiled. "You once said you'd tear me apart. I believed you, but now I believe something else." She narrowed her eyes. "What? You'd tear them apart first." She let out a quiet laugh. "Rough and real. You're strange, human. I've been called worse." And then, for the first time, Ravari offered her hand, not to fight, not to threaten, but to run dash together. Jac, he took it. In that one moment, in a world full of danger and darkness. Asterisk. They ran through the jungle. Fast, silent, together. Ravari moved like wind through the trees. Jace struggled to keep up, but she slowed just enough, not out of weakness. but choice. Behind them, the scent of danger followed. Not beasts.bestmen. Her tribe. They tracked me fast. Ravari said, her voice low. They can smell human scent from miles away. And now it's on me. Jace wiped sweat from his forehead. I'm sorry. This is because of me. No, she replied. This is because I let you live. They reached a rocky ledge overlooking a wide river below. Ravari stopped, crouching. She sniffed the air. Her fur bristled. They're close. How close? She pointed with one claw. Too close. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed across the jungle. Not hers, another stronger. Deeper, the sound of a war leader. Ravari's face went still. Jace whispered, Is that? She nodded. Thrakel, my blood brother. He leads now, and he does not forgive. Betrayal. Before Jace could speak, a spear struck the tree beside him. They were surrounded. From the trees and cliffs, shadows dropped. Tall, armored beastmen snarling, furious, proud. Their weapons were sharp. Their eyes full of hate. At the front stood Thrakel, taller than Ravari, covered in dark armor made of bone. His eyes glowed red. His claws were bigger than Jace's hands. He stared at Ari, then at Jace, then back at her. You bring a human into our sacred grounds. He growled. You let him touch your blood. You kneel before a weakling. Ravari stood tall. I do not kneel. Thrakel's voice rose. Then why is he alive? She didn't blink. Because he saved me. The tribe roared in anger. One of the females spat on the ground. You speak shame, Ravari. Another shouted, You bring poison into our land. Jace stepped forward. I didn't mean to cause this. I didn't ask for any of this. But they didn't care? He was prey, a human, a thing. To kill. Thrakel raised his spear. By tribal law, Ravari is to be judged. Ravari bared her teeth. Then judge me. But he walks free. Thrakel growled. He walks into his death. No. Her voice turned sharp. He pulled the thorn. He showed mercy. Something we've forgotten. The tribe murmured, confused, angry. Thrakel's eyes narrowed. You sound like one of them. Ravari stepped closer to Jace. Her claws were out now. Not for him, but for them. I sound like someone who remembers pain and who healed because of him. The tribe surrounded them. Thrakel raised his weapon. Then we fight by old right. Blood speaks louder than words. Jace looked at Ravari. What's happening? She turned, eyes soft. They want me to fight you. He froze. What? If I beat you, they take me back. You die. If I lose, I die. He swallowed hard. That's not a great choice. No, she said, stepping close. It's a test. But I won't fight you. Then you'll die. I don't fear death, she said, then whispered. But I fear forgetting you. Jace took a breath. He looked at the snarling tribe. At Thrakel, at Ravari, and then he stepped forward. I challenge the right, he said loudly, but not against her. Gasps, silence. Even Ravari looked shocked. I challenge Thrakel, Jace said. Let him prove his strength. Thrakel laughed. You? A thin, soft creature with no fur? You will die in seconds. Jace nodded. Maybe. But if you kill me, what does that prove? That you're stronger than a wounded, unarmed outsider? The tribe paused. That question stung. Thrakel's jaw tightened. Ravari whispered, You're mad. Jace replied, You saved me once. Let me return the favor. Thrakel stepped forward and raised his claws. Ravari stood between them. No. She looked at her tribe. He is not prey. He is change. And if that means breaking the old law, then so be it. She took off the claw medallion from her neck, her tribe's symbol and dropped it to the ground. I leave this behind. She said. The tribe gasped. I leave you behind. She turned to Jace. Let's go. No one moved, not even Thrakel. Watched her walk away. With the human with no fear in silence, Ravari and Jace disappeared into the trees alone, together marked by exile, but not broken. Asterisk. The jungle felt different now. Quieter. Heavier, like it had swallowed a secret. Reverie walked ahead, silent, her claws curled and her breath steady. Jace followed behind, watching her back, but more than that, watching her carry the weight of what she had done. She had turned her back on her tribe for him. They stopped at a small waterfall, hidden between sharp rocks. The water was clear, cold. Ravari knelt and drank. Then she sat on a stone, staring at the trees. Jace stood near her. You didn't have to do that. Ravari didn't answer right away. Then she said softly, Yes, I did. He sat beside her. You lost everything. Your tribe. Your place. Even your name, maybe. She looked at him. No, I lost those things long ago. When I was younger, I got caught in a trap. The first thorn. The tribe left me behind. Said the jungle would decide my fate. She paused. I survived. Alone. Angry. That's what made me strong. Jace looked into her eyes. And now? Now. I'm tired of being strong alone. The wind moved through the trees gently. For a moment, there was peace. Then Jace's device cracked with static. Double quotes. JACE. Are you alive? Please respond. Base is searching. His eyes widened. My team. They're alive. He grabbed the device. Yes. I'm here. Sending coordinates now. Ravari stood slowly, eyes cautious. You'll leave now, she said. He turned to her. You should come with me. She shook her head. I don't belong with your kind. You don't belong here anymore either, he said gently. She turned her face away. Later that night, they sat by a fire again. Just like before. But this time, no silence. Only questions. Will your people accept me? She asked. Jace nodded. Some will. Others won't. But if you come as my friend, they'll have no choice. Ravari looked at the stars. In my tribe, names are earned through deeds. If I go with you, I leave Ravari behind. Jace smiled. Then start again. Choose your own name. She thought for a moment. Then whispered, Lyra. He tilted his head. Lyra? It means one who walks forward, she said. Before dawn, the sky turned pink. A small shuttle landed in a clearing nearby. Jace stood with his gear ready. His buzzing. The team was waiting. He turned to her. Lyra now. This is your choice. Come with me or disappear again. She stepped forward, but something stopped her. Not fear, not pride. Doubt. Your world is not made for my kind. He reached out and gently placed his hand over the old scar on her leg. The place where it all started. It wasn't made for us either, but we built it anyway. The shuttle door opened. A voice shouted, Jace! Move! Jace took one step forward. Lyra stayed still. Then, after a long pause, she walked out one step, then another, and then she stood beside him. Together, as they entered the shuttle. Humans stared. Weapons raised. Confused voices. Is that a threat? Jace held up his hand. She's not a threat. She's the reason I'm alive. The commander frowned. Are you sure, Scout? Jace turned to Lyra. Her golden eyes were calm, steady. I've never been more sure, he said. And just like that, a new story began. Not about tribes or thorns. Not about prey or predator. But a scar that healed. 2 worlds. Asterisk. The shuttle doors closed behind them with a heavy thud. Lyra stood still in the middle of the human craft. bright lights, metal walls, strange sounds. She had never felt so far from the jungle, and yet she didn't tremble, because Jace stood beside her, and she trusted only that dot the human soldiers whispered around her. Is that a Zarnian? A beast woman? She's huge. She's calm for now. Their hands stayed near their weapons. Jace turned and raised his voice. She's not a prisoner. She's with me. The commander stepped forward. You expect us to believe that thing won't rip someone in half? Lyra narrowed her eyes. But she didn't move. Jace stepped in front of her. I expect you to believe that I know the difference between danger and someone who risked everything to save me. The commander looked at Lyra, then back at Jace. You've got 10 minutes to explain this at HQ. After that, she's on her own. The ship rose through the clouds. Lyra looked out the window at the stars she never thought she'd see. She whispered, Your sky is so quiet. Jace smiled. Wait till you see Earth. The landing bay was crowded. Scientists, military officers, reporters. All waiting for the missing scout. No one expected he'd return with a living legend from a species known only in war files. When the doors opened, all eyes turned. Jace walked out first, and Lyra stepped into the light. Tall, proud, silent. Murmurs turned into chaos. Cameras flashed. Weapons clicked, but she didn't flinch. She kept her eyes on Jace. One reporter yelled, What is she? Another, Did she attack you? Jace spoke clearly. She didn't attack. She protected. But why? A voice asked. Jace paused, then turned to Lyra. And said, Tell them. Lyra's jaw tightened. She looked at the sea of strange faces. Her voice was rough, unsure. I was taught humans are weak, that they lie, hunt, take. She stepped forward, claws lowered. But I was wrong. A hush fell. I saw a human walk through my forest. Not to kill, not to conquer, but to help. She looked at Jace. He pulled the thorn and never asked for anything. One officer said, Why follow him back here? She answered, Because no one in my world ever looked at me with mercy. Not even when I bled. He did. She raised her scarred leg. This scar is not shame. It is proof. That kindness is stronger than fear. The room was silent until someone slowly began to clap. Then another dot, then more dot, until the hangar echoed with applause. Weeks passed. Lyra was given a room. She learned to speak Earth languages. She watched children play. She studied maps of oceans. She tried coffee, hated it. She trained with soldiers. No one could beat her in a sparring ring, but she never bragged, because power was no longer her shield. Now, she had something more. Belonging. One evening, under a blue Earth sky, Jace walked beside her along a quiet path. You never really told me, he said. Why did you really follow me? Lyra smirked. Because I had nowhere left to go. He looked at her. And now? She looked up at the sky. I don't follow anymore, Jace. And softly, I walk beside you now.